over. Hey guys, what happened this Wednesday?
Hey Scott, thank you for the intro. Glad that we got all the audio and everything worked out. Brad, are you okay, bud?
I don't know, man. It's hot here. You know, in this presentation, I see it's got webinar hot August. That was done, I guess, last Wednesday, but I think it's even hotter today. Triple digits over here, my friend.
Oh, I'd love to hear that because my goodness, does this crowd have a hell of a show today. Today's show, well, before Brad, after let me get started, I forgot. Lest people not know, we are not a registered investment advisor. All the information that you're going to hear from myself, Brad, Scott, Barry, or anyone associated with Trade Ideas is for educational, informational purposes only. Exhale. And now, moving on to our regularly scheduled program. Why do disclaimers exist, Brad?
I don't know, but one webinar with us, and I think you guys everybody will know that we are not.
Of course you can. All right, listen, guys, we love that you're here. We love that you spend time with us. We have a blast doing this. Unlike the many faces of corporate America, here you've got a true team of full red-blooded running the helm and the show, and a few Canadians also, but you know, because Barry's here, whatnot. But we are been on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing privately held companies. This is our 4th year running, Brad.
I think we need to update the slide, my friend.
Somebody needs the slide, people, you know. And one of the reasons why we are in it always trading, investing, active market participation is very much like a skill that once you get, it's like billiards or poker or something established, or golf for that matter, something you can do pretty much the rest of your life as long as you're not, you know, thinking you're Napoleon or whatever. Okay. So what I'm going to show you today, I'm going to showcase some stuff that hardly anybody shows you, which is, as you'll see, going to be some of the most valuable information you will have ever heard. But moving right along, you've seen this before. This is your kind of gateway to the stock market, and from our point of view, this is the most critical part of the console, ladies and gentlemen, because this is where you interact with the flow of profit and loss. So many people spend so little time actually in it. They're all thinking about, well, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? I don't know. And then you find out that instead of being, you know, in the market, you should have spent some time with your therapist because ultimately you have trouble making decisions.
Well, so, you know, it's two things, right? It's your interface to the market, but it's also a full educational tool in and of itself. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and this is just one component of the many different tools that we have to be able to spot ideas and execute on them.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and it's getting better and better. And you guys, I mean, we're just starting to after 17 years being in this game, and I think we're the only ones that are that old, never raised any money, did it all ourselves, and we're still just starting to scratch the surface, Brad, of what we can do, the beautiful things we were discussing today that's going to go so much along the way of making this a must-have for anybody. And so the sooner you learn how to interact with this technology, the one that shows you not just ideas, but also the impact, the financial impact of them, the better you're going to be, okay? But Brad, there's a reason why today, in my opinion, is going to be so interesting as far as the Q&A, because I'm really going to give you a heads-up view on how I actually explore the market. And you guys have seen, like lots of people, and us included, I've had lots of opportunities to show you some amazing P&Ls, like days where I was up 20,000 and stuff like that. But a lot of people say, well, how do you get there, Brad? And today we're going to talk about how do you get there. Okay?
Awesome. That's great. Good stuff.
That's why it's called the hunt for Red October. Okay, we're on the hunt. We're on the hunt for the elusive gains. So, point, and jump right into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to pull up, anybody want to raise your hand?
IOC.
No, behind our back there, we're here doing something. All right, but you guys all see it, right? So Brad and I were looking at this, and we're just thinking about negative through our exploration,
Rating ourselves for
to like almost look at this stuff right here. You've seen, ladies and gentlemen, again, these are the moves. I mean, they talk about the fake Apple and Facebook, and incredible. I've started talking about what for a continued run up, but okay, and a couple of other ones. So that allowed me to see that I am doing what's, and we're going to explore this tack. What I'm trying to back down. I'm trying to think. Well, could then is with some size and largest sized positions. So that's another thing that I'm looking at properly. And remember, we are talking only data. It's like
2 hours of the market.
oh, it's told Kodak. It's actually happens positioned actually pretty good. Well, that's the concept. So many cool things use so that you can see like this EIX went positive. Same thing here. Went negative a little bit, then turned positive. And again, I can have these visuals associated, and constantly what I'm doing is my eyes are always going back and forth. I'm sorting and resorting. I'm looking at the exposure. So this is the way that you are able to then process so much more information. And yes, the total P&L is negative right now, correct. And that's what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you, in order to get into the proper positions, you have to work through sort of like range work. And that's what I'm doing right now on these positions. I've gotten into some of these. I've gotten out of some of the things I didn't like, okay? And these are my open positions, which are down $2,164. But in order to get the big winners, you have to expose yourself to the positions. And what I'm saying is I'm showing you a way that I do that using our technology, which is obviously I'm looking at things, you know, from these windows. I'm trying to find something that catches my attention, like this is very interesting, what's going on with that. And you can kind of see like, wow, well, this is another one. Surely would have been better at 88 cents. You would have felt a lot safer. And so for me, I'm like, okay, I think I might have missed most of that, so I'll just, you know, let it go. But here is another example where I'm looking at this Allied Sports Entertainment, and I'm seeing this big gap up, and again, hopefully, just psychologically showing you a tell, and I'm just been kind of adding a little bit throughout the day. That's another way to do it so that you're not always one and done. One and done is very tricky for people. So I bought a little here, bought a little here, and bought a little here.
And each one was super little. I mean, this is what you call like a feeler position because your exposure is what? It's $200. So it's super tiny position for you.
Super 30 shares at a time because there was so much volatility, right? So there's so much movement, but I'm kind of starting to get a feel. You know, tomorrow, if it starts going in the direction, I'll double it, then I'll have 180, and I'll be in a position to really gauge what this thing will do. And so this whole lesson, Brad, to me, one of the big critical things that I think people don't spend enough time on is, well, doing step when, like people often think that trading is done sort of like one trade at a time. But I want to completely dispel that. You want to get to your best 3 or 4 that are going to continue to go. But in order to do that, sometimes you have to be in this many. Any questions? So Brad, one of the things, let me do something real quick. I want to change the screen. Hopefully this will work. Okay, tell me if you can see it.
Yeah, your other monitor?
Yeah.
Actually, what you're doing is you're showing all 3 right now.
Whoa.
including your Twitter feed. That's cute.
Which one am I showing now? The right one?
Yeah, this is the original one that you were showing before.
So it looks like, let me try one more time.
Yeah, because you should be able to find your second one.
What about right now?
Nope, that's fully Twitter.
Dang it. This one?
It's back to the original.
I know what's going on. I know.
Right?
How about now?
No, I think Dan, did you turn on Holly today with Brokerage Plus? Because sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
I did. I had it on for most of the day until I found an error that I had to then shut off, and then I didn't restart it after the middle of the day, unfortunately. Yeah. But let's see, I think I got, well, let's see.
You're in it, because if you were.
I actually did this one after followed Holly after all of these trades, but I might still be in that one from Holly, this one. I'm in KBR, I think. Maybe. Yeah, so I was in it, but then again, I got out. So yeah, so I was trading. Sorry guys, I was trying to reassess. I traded a lot of these, but I also traded a lot from these other windows, and that's what I was trying to show you guys. But it fortunately does not allowing me to switch monitors unless you see my Twitter feed, which by the way, Brad, is hilarious. So we'll have to kind of go with what we had here. But the gist of what I'm trying to say is that let me just come over here to Alpha Predator, and I want to talk about how there's so much that we have built in here in all of these channels that really allow you to hunt for the Kirkland type moves. And some of this is exactly these kind of footprints. I mean, Brad, you can just see, look.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite channels. It really does have a way of spotting opportunities no matter what's going on in the market. I mean, volatility, that's why I look at the icon, it's a tiger. I mean, yeah. It is ready.
So this is another one where, you know, you do not have to be in it to win it. You can buy a few, and that's why I just put this alert here. You can buy a few shares and see if it really has that momentum, because you see that these stocks, like, let me go back to Kirkland just so that you guys can understand what's happening. Like, you know, this move looks so easy to maintain, only, Brad, because it's relative, right? At one point, all of it looked like this. At 140, it looked like this. It all looks the same on a chart, right? So when you're at SYPR, remember what you're looking at. That's the hard thing, I think, Brad, for people to sort of visually understand, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm too late. Well, are you if it goes to 11? Not really. So that's what we're trying to do. And a lot of it is a feel out process. Look at this amazing thing right here, Brad. And the other thing I want to point out too is that look at the volumes that are going through here. You know, you can trade, if you have skill and size, you can really be in and out of quite a bit of it.
Yeah, you really can. And this particular stock, VVPR, I saw it yesterday, the day before, you know, so that repetitiveness that you see in a single window or in multiple channels really does give you the confidence that something's really going on in that stock and you can participate in it.
And that's why we also have these monikers right here. Now, I'm going to be following this more closely, but this one right here, I mean, Brad, I have to say, I love these moves because you see what can be done. It's kind of giving you the highlight all the way back. There's a lot of emotional pain. This is where take advantage.
Yeah, this is the perfect spot for your price alert.
And again, you can kind of mess around with it a little bit, but truthfully, these moves out of this range and potentially back into 3, number one, that's almost 100%. But number two, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where, while you are not maybe the Uber hero long-term investor of Apple and Amazon and Walmart and Home Depot and American Express and Microsoft, blah, blah, blah. But here, again, you can go 5X or like Kirkland, 11X in 3 months.
Well, that's, you know, one of the interesting things. People think that in using this tech and in using these different alert signals, that when something is signaled, that now is the time you got to do it. By using the price alerts, what you've done is you've identified an opportunity. And when that opportunity is really prime for the taking, that's when it's going to cross the threshold. That's when you're going to be most, you know, the advantage is going to be most in your favor to really participate in that.
And Brad, you know, you and I were just talking about how, and you guys here, you're on the Q&A, right? One of the things that we share here is some of the thought process. And Brad, you know, without getting too uber into the technology, one of the things that we plan on doing to these channels is, at the very, very least, right, having a column, Brad, let's say that says days, and you can sort it by not just this, but one of these that's here, but also how many days it's been on this alpha predator in a row or total.
Yeah, there's some great stuff coming, definitely.
Amazing stuff, guys, so that you really are gonna things and see things that be used, first of all, by the right people, which is the individual, I think gloves. They're certainly not in the stock market. But you guys are here and you're at the right place at the right time. I bring the channel back, Brad, because I just keep talking about, as you and I were perusing, we were just talking about how so many things that we had are kind of giving you these amazing opportunities. And the key really is just perusing them, putting them in the bank, whether it's your bank of I like, or you're setting up your alerts, like I'm doing right here. It's a three-prong, whoops, that's what I did before. Yeah, I clicked on the wrong thing. It's a simple three-prong process that allows you to have less and less chances of missing the next Kirkland. Because this is, once again, what it's about. Look at this thing at 82 cents, and I said this before, if you were in it right around here, you'd feel a lot better here what it's doing. I mean, now you're like, okay, in it to win it. And there's so many, look at these turnarounds. So once again, if you think about the plays that I mentioned before, and Brad, you told me today to look at VRCA because it was a Holly call yesterday. Guys. You know, that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about if you could have been in this trade yesterday and made money, which you should have, and maybe stayed in it because, again, you were up money. This is all for your own, obviously, with your own risk profile. But you would be riding this beautiful gravy train right now. And that's what we want to do more of here. We want to get you more positioned to be open to these things. And notice that I did not ever right now configure anything. These are all done for you. Look at this right here, Brad. Oh, Brad, the non-show.
I'm typing a response, not even looking. What do you got going on? Oh yeah, that's nice.
I mean, people talk to us and they say, Dan, but why? How could you guys really be this good? And I say it's not all about the looks, guys. Come on. No, in all joking is that we are very proud because the system is designed to hunt this stuff. It's designed to find this stuff, and we're showing you constantly that it can do it. So remember too, right, that what I'm doing in real mode here, you are completely capable of doing in the options mode. Sorry, options. A tool got me, Brad.
You gotcha. Well, you're paying attention anyway.
Right. what I'm saying is that what I'm doing here is I'm showing you something that you should attempt to replicate, and you can do it in simulated trading. You can start and exercise this process of, hey, can I find something that's going, and let the finding kind of just happen through mathematics. You again should pick a percentage or a dollar amount that you don't want to lose, and that's kind of what you're seeing right here. Okay. Except for this KBR trade from Holly, which for some reason, I think I just had a conservative setting on it, and that's all. So that's what I'm doing. That's what separates us from all the other platforms, is that of course we're going to give you the ideas, but after you have them, it's what do you do with them? It's being able to figure out, how do I stay in the right one and get out of the right one? And a lot of that is not, I mean, again, it's not perfect, but I'm just trying to show you guys that this is a relatively benign approach. You can see I'm BDR, 50 shares, 30 shares, 20 shares. I only need one of these to become the next KIRK and hopefully size into it, because if you can do that just once or twice a year, you've already beaten everybody by far. And once again, there's really one way to do it, which is through the interaction of the portfolio, how the P&L fluctuates, and all these measures, so you could properly gauge where you should get in and where you should get out. Again, also, there's something beautiful, Brad, about just, you were talking about exposure. I'm only in $330, right? So here I am, I'm trying something that's incredibly volatile, but I've got this tiny little amount of shares. So how awesome is it to know that the thing that went against you the most, right, in theory, you are risking the least? That's sort of, Brad, how it's done, isn't it?
Well, it is, and now the advantage is it's on your radar, right? So you have minimal risk, it's on your radar, and if something actually is going to start happening with it, you're in a good position to really do something about it.
Yeah, so this is, again, that's why I call this the hunt for Red October. I have a whole channel for this, and it's just too bad that I wasn't able to show you the other screen, because it was kind of cool. It's just talking about how you can take any bunch of windows, and Brad has done this before also, from other Holly channels or from other channels, and kind of create your own layout. And then Brad, I pulled it into a channel called Battle Stations, because it's the battle of these, you and these little positions. So that's the transition of what I wanted to kind of communicate through the allegory and mnemonic of Hunt for Red October, is that when you're in this, you're never going to be in this many positions, obviously, all the time, because you're just trying to get to the winners. And only, again, you only want to end up in 1 or 2, 3. Otherwise you're just a genius. So this is me doing it. This is me showing you guys how I do it. And hopefully you should be trying it out, because doing it in simulated mode is as simple as unconnecting from here, going to simulated trading, and here you go. And again, notice here, obviously, I work on much bigger sizing to get to where I want to go. I'm trying to figure out, I'm using this to practice other things, because again, I already know the part that I'm showing you I'm doing with the real money. But here's an example where you guys can try all the different things, and they're all exactly the same.
What it also helps you do is establish what is the best exposure for you in that type of position and its volatility. How much position size should you be taking so that it's comfortable and you're trading the way you should be trading, and not because of some profit that's crazy because you're not prepared for that.
Absolutely. And by the way, a lot of times I end up also using my simulated trading as keys for my real trading, and I unfortunately missed it here. But Brad, this was one that, again, I kind of spotted a little bit, and it's the same concept that I've been talking to you guys about all day, right? Boom and boom. It's a it doesn't have to be difficult. That's the real thing. It really does not. So Brad, let's punch back into our wonderful webinar. Are we good with the questions?
I think we are. Yeah, I think we're caught up.
So guys, one of the other ways that you can get better at doing this, and again, we're by far the best in terms of what we do, but there's no substitute for human interaction. And Barry Anderson, the wonderful moderator of our trading room, does an excellent job Monday through Friday and leads this room, meritocracy of very good traders. And it's a community of people that helps one another. And we encourage everybody to take a tour and spend some time there. Remember, it is free and totally open, full of great ideas and lots of different ways, once again, to see how different people do it. Ultimately, for you, there will have to be your own footprint. We provide free information to help you learn the market and different things about it, some of our expertise. We nailed the one that we did last time, which was going short the market, because we caught it in a fantastic time. And I'll say again, if you're just starting to trade and you're learning how to do it, practice the short side first, learn it in reverse to get better in when you do it for real. It's one of the most incredible gifts you can give yourself. So we have this whole series, and of course this one right now focuses on earnings and how to trade them in different ways that you can take advantage of that information. Our education is always ongoing. There's a complete education curriculum at Trade Ideas. All of the things that we've shown you, believe it or not, are on video on our YouTube channel, from opening it up to configuring it, to working with the odds maker, as deep as you want to go. But the other thing too is, remember, it can be simple. Just turn it on and go to our channel and start looking and heart the thing that you like. That's it. Obviously, if you want to join the education, please go to trade-ideas.com/live. We are a subscription-based service. That's how we do so well on the Inc. 5000, and lots of people love what we do. We're the only consumer-facing AI for the individual investor in the world, and it's only a few dollars a day at the very, very premium. I say this almost every webinar, Brad, if you can't afford $2,300 for the year for AI to help you learn how to trade and become better, this may not be the thing for you. That's just the truth. But if you do want to take a look and you haven't done so, please use our promo code summertime to get 15% off of your first month or a year off of Trade Ideas. Okay? And of course, tune into our podcast, which I swear I will be back on at some point soon. Search that on your preferred podcast search engine. We're very easy to get a hold of, active on social media. Please like us on Twitter, on Facebook, on every social platform that you can. And of course, always feel free to give us a call, or if you have questions, shoot us an email to info@trade-ideas.com. Barry, Scott, Brad, I think we're all good. Thank you very much.
That sounds good. Everyone keep an eye out for their email tomorrow with a link to the replay. Thanks all.